Ancient Egypt is famous for its tombs, pyramids, and the treasures buried with its pharaohs. But among the sands and stone lies a darker story: the fear of curses, the warnings carved in hieroglyphs, and the mysterious deaths that have haunted explorers for centuries. Tomb curses are often dismissed as myths, yet in ancient Egypt, warnings were taken seriously. Carved into stone or written on papyrus, curses threatened anyone who dared disturb the resting place of the dead. They promised illness, misfortune, or even death, a supernatural defense for the tomb and its treasures. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was dangerous. The soul of the deceased could face demons, spirits, and obstacles on its journey. A disturbed tomb risked angering both the gods and the dead. A curse was not superstition, it was a protective measure, a way to ensure that sacred spaces remained inviolate. Some curses were general, warning all intruders. Others were specific, targeting named individuals. Whoever dares to open this tomb, may his name vanish from the earth and his soul wander in darkness forever, reads one inscription. Such words carried weight. They invoked divine justice and the fear of retribution. But were these curses real? Archaeologists and historians debate endlessly. Some ancient tombs are associated with mysterious deaths. Scientists note unexplained illnesses among those who entered or handled artifacts. Yet natural causes, disease, bacteria, or environmental hazards can explain many of these stories. Still, the coincidence of repeated misfortune adds an eerie resonance to the myths. Tomb curses served practical purposes as well. They deterred thieves and looters, preserving the sanctity of burial chambers. The Egyptians invested immense effort and wealth in tombs, ensuring pharaohs and nobles were protected in life and after death. A curse amplified the threat to intruders, combining fear with divine authority to protect property and sacred ritual. Priests played a role in reinforcing these warnings. Rituals, spells, and ceremonial offerings activated the protective power of the curse. Amulets and inscriptions were placed strategically within tombs to guard against desecration. The pharaoh's afterlife was considered sacred, and any interference was both a legal and spiritual offense. Modern tales of tomb curses gained fame in the 20th century. When Howard Carter discovered Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, news stories spread of a curse of the pharaoh. Several individuals associated with the discovery died under unusual circumstances. Though skeptics point to coincidence, the stories endure, fueling the mystery and fear surrounding Egyptian tombs. Tomb curses were more than warnings, they were statements of power. The pharaohs controlled life and death, even beyond the grave. To violate their tombs was to challenge divine authority, a crime against gods, rulers, and cosmic order. Curses served as both protection and deterrent, merging practical security with spiritual enforcement. But not all tombs were cursed equally. Royal tombs contained the most elaborate warnings, while commoners' graves rarely carried threats. The more valuable or sacred the burial, the stronger the spells, inscriptions, and magical protections. From hidden traps to written spells, the goal was always the same: preserve the integrity of the tomb and punish anyone who dared disturb it. Even the fear of curses shaped behavior. Workers, priests, and looters approached tombs with ritualistic caution. The stories of death and misfortune ensured respect and deterred the careless. Curses reinforced authority, both earthly and divine, embedding fear into the very culture of ancient Egypt. The fear of tomb curses was not merely superstition. It was deeply embedded in Egyptian culture, law, and religion. Pharaohs and nobles believed that the afterlife could be threatened if the tombs were violated. Divine justice, administered by gods and spirits, would strike anyone who dared disturb the sacred resting place. Some of the most famous curses were associated with royal tombs. Tutankhamun's tomb, discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, sparked worldwide fascination. Stories quickly spread of deaths among those who entered or handled artifacts. While some can be explained by disease, bacteria, or even coincidences, the sheer number of misfortunes created an enduring myth of supernatural retribution. But Egyptian tombs themselves suggest more than legend. Many were designed as fortresses against intrusion. Hidden doors, false chambers, and concealed traps were common. Spells and inscriptions warned of disease, injury, or death to those who dared enter uninvited. Amulets and magical figurines were embedded in walls, designed to protect the tomb and the soul of the deceased from harm. Curses also served political and social functions. They enforced respect for the dead, deterring looters and maintaining the authority of the ruling class. By invoking divine punishment, pharaohs projected power beyond their lifetime. The living were reminded that the gods, through the deceased ruler, could still punish disobedience. Some inscriptions were chillingly specific. "Anyone who opens this tomb will have their heart consumed by fire," warned one pharaoh. "May your body rot and your soul wander in darkness for eternity," read another. Such statements were not random. They reflected a belief system where magic, ritual, and authority were intertwined. Magic in tombs extended beyond words. Amulets were placed over the eyes, heart, and body of the deceased. Spells guided the soul safely through the underworld and warded off demons. Even the architecture of the tomb was designed to confuse intruders and protect the sacred contents. In some cases, looters who entered tombs faced hazards that may have been both deliberate and fatal. Collapsing ceilings, concealed pits, or even toxic substances from decaying materials. Historical evidence shows that some tombs did lead to mysterious deaths. Ancient papyri hint at workers falling ill after constructing or decorating certain tombs. The air in sealed chambers could carry mold or bacteria, causing sickness among the living. Yet for the Egyptians, these dangers reinforced the idea that the tomb itself was a sacred, dangerous place, a place where divine and mortal forces intersected. Tomb curses also highlight the Egyptians' understanding of human psychology. Fear of the unknown, reinforced by inscriptions and ritual, was a powerful deterrent. Even the most ambitious thieves hesitated, wary of both earthly punishment and supernatural wrath. Curses created an invisible security system, one that relied on fear, respect, and belief in the divine. The legacy of these curses persists even today. Archaeologists entering tombs approach with caution, aware that the ancients carefully designed these spaces to command awe and fear. Stories of misfortune, illness, and mysterious deaths continue to fascinate, illustrating the lasting power of Egyptian magic and ritual. In the end, tomb curses were more than myth. They were tools of protection, instruments of fear, and expressions of authority. They combined religion, magic, and law into a single, terrifying system. A warning that the dead were not to be disturbed, and that divine justice could strike without warning. Whether supernatural or practical, the impact is undeniable. Ancient Egyptians understood that life and death were intertwined, and that even after death, power could be exerted through words, symbols, and unseen forces. Tombs were not merely resting places, they were fortresses, laboratories of magic, and stages for one of history's most enduring mysteries. And so, the myth persists, the fear lingers, and the curses of the pharaohs continue to whisper across millennia. A chilling reminder that in ancient Egypt, disturbing the dead was never without consequence.